Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 146 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-host,
George Breden.
James Fitzgerald.
It's been over 3 years, and we are back. To ease us back into the podcasting process, we will be going over our top 10 games that released in 2024. Enjoy the show. It's going to be really weird if somebody's listening to the episodes and then all of a sudden they listen to the next one. It's like, what? We are back. It's like number 146. But anyway.
Yeah, they won't know. That's okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that happened in the last couple of years. But we are back and we want to welcome James to the podcast. This is his first episode he's been on, and you've never even guessed on there. You were just you heard. We met because you listened to the show, right?
Right. I first talked to Eric years ago, back in 2017, and we became friends after that. But thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Glad you're here. Long-time listener and long-time gamer. We've played a bunch of games together.
We have. We've been to many conventions together since then in the, 5-6 years or something? I don't even know how long it's been. Probably longer than that, because I believe I started the podcast in 2015. Like months after my son was born, my first son. Now I have 3. And
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to say I remember the first game we played with you. It was George. Was it Dreamscape or something? Do you remember that game?
Like that, about clouds and stuff.
Yes, love that game.
I bet I can. I mean, obviously I can look at BG stats and figure it out for sure. I'm just like going off the cuff here. Anyway, we are going to go, we're going to go straight into this. We welcome James. That's pretty much the overhead we need to do before we jump into this. If you're not familiar with the podcast, we've been around for a while. If you're first time listener, I used to do videos and stuff on the Dice Tower. Check that out. We got videos online. I wasn't very good at doing the videos because it takes a lot of time to chop them up and everything. But we have a bunch of videos on our YouTube channel if you want to check that out and subscribe. I'm sure that we will start posting things there eventually, and which will just be video versions of the show. But you can follow us on social media anywhere, mostly Facebook, I guess, or Instagram. What we're going to go over today in this episode is the top 10 games released in 2024. Now, bear in mind, there's over 500 games that release in 2024 and basically every year. And it's virtually impossible for all of us to play each and every one of these to give you a fully comprehensive list of games. So these are just our favorites of the ones that we played, basically. The good thing is we're basically from 3 different gaming groups, right? I mean, we don't play a lot of games together recently anyway.
Right.
And so like this is going to be different lists, but it'll be interesting to see what we cross over with, because we haven't discussed this at all. Like, I don't know anything. I mean, I can probably guess what's going to be on George's just based on default things he likes. And I kind of have a few things I might think James will include, but so we're going to start.
I think we should guess how much crossover we might have. And I really feel I'm going to have 3 crossovers with you guys, probably max.
I think that we will have one game that will be on all 3 of our list, no others. And I think overall, like James and me, as long as we play the same games, we will have the most crossover, and you're going to have a list of games we've never heard of.
I agree.
I think you'll be surprised. I didn't go as esoteric this time around. You'll be surprised.
All right, well, fair enough. Well, James, you're new to the show. Do you want to start off with your number 10?
Okay, I can go ahead. My number 10 is Rock Hard 1977. It is probably the most thematic game on my list. It's designed by Jackie Fox, who was a former bassist of the Runaways, and it's published by DeVere Games. It's if it's not didn't have the theme, this game wouldn't be a game. I mean, you're a buddy in Rockstar. It's a worker placement, and each day is split up in 3 parts: the morning, afternoon, and night. And you start out with a job you have to go to, but you're trying to get a record deal, a tape, demo tape, and sign a contract, and you're just so you can get to perform in bigger venues and get more money and quit that job. And it's extremely thematic. It oozes with theme, and it's just so fun. I mean, we've played it a few times, and even the money looks it's so good. It allows you ignore that it's paper money, and it feels good, and it's got like lipstick on the money. It's got other coffee stains on it. I mean, and the candy, or the game uses candy instead of, well, wink,
drugs.
Wink. Yeah. To boost you, but you don't want to use too much because it'll cause you to burn out. But it's pretty fun. It goes to whoever, the game goes until either 9 rounds or whoever gets to 50 first. But and the few times I've played it, it's never gotten to 9 rounds. It's always somebody scored 50 points, and it's actually a blast. And the more players, the better.
So how long?
It's Rock Hard 1977.
How long has the game gone for you? If it ends before the 9 rounds, what is the length of a typical
it's about
game?
An hour and a half. Hour and a half.
Nice.
I mean, that's a pretty good time. I think an hour and a half is like the sweet spot for most games, unless the game is meant to be a long game. I picture games like 30 to 45 minutes, an hour and a half to 2 hours, and like 3.5 or more. Like that's like the general category of games I have. So, but the components look really good too.
I'm not usually big on themes in the games, but this one just shines, and it's worth the play. If you can play it, it's worth it. It's just fun.
Yeah, it seems like it would be. That was my next question. Like, when you're playing it, does the theme come through? And if it does, that's fantastic.
100% in the theme. Most thematic game on my list.
This is one I wasn't able to get to. I haven't played this one, but I really would like to play this one. And it's funny when, Tim, you were saying there are 500 and some games and we haven't played all of them. I haven't even played all of the ones that I own.
Who has?
I'll get to that later because I have a similar thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll go next, actually. Mine number 10, and the reason I'm going to go next is because it's similar. This is another game that's in the same kind of theme, and that is Draft and Write Records. And this is a game, I mean, it basically just explains what you're doing in the game in the title. You are drafting cards, but it's a roll and write. And so you're forming a band and you're drafting cards, and the cards will have symbols on it, just like every other, roll and write or draft and write type of game. And you're taking these symbols and coloring them in on your board, and overall just trying to form your band and get shows. And overall, like, I'm not a huge like roll and write fan. Like, I like roll and writes. They're fine, but there has to be a lot to it. There has to be, number one, combos, and number two, it has to be more interactive than we roll dice on the table and everybody chooses a die. There are a couple of games like that that are fine, like Merchants of Magic. Like, I really like that game, but in this one, it has that drafting mechanism, and I don't play a ton of roll and write, so I can't think offhand. Also, I did no research before this on this, what I'm about ready to say, but I don't remember any other drafting roll and write game. Maybe there is, but maybe there isn't. But anyway, Draft and Write Records is
drawing a blank on that, but
yeah, I can't think of it. James, do you know of any other games where you're drafting cards, but you're doing a roll and write at the same time?
It's on the tip of my tongue, but I think there is one at least, but I didn't realize this was 2024. It might have been on my list. Spoiler. It's not, but I love this game. This is a really good draft and write game.
Did you forget about it? It would have been on there?
Yeah. It's really good solo, but I've played it a ton on BGA. So it's on BGA, so I'd recommend it. But
this is one that I've played as well, and it was on my short list. I didn't forget about it. It didn't quite make the list, but it came awfully close. I don't like roll and writes. I don't usually have them or play them, and this is one that is genuinely good.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Yeah. Now, real quick before we go to George's number 10, the caveat is we are using for the most part, we're using the release date that's on BGG, like Board Game Geek, not necessarily, I don't know. Sometimes you can argue, well, the game came out on December 15th, and do we really consider that a 2024 release? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. We're not that serious. So, George, what's your number 10?
All right. Well, in the same line of being not that serious, I always cheat on these, and so I get like a twofer, and I get 2 for 1. This one is Typewriter by Tim Powers, which came along with paperback 10th anniversary edition. which definitely deserves a mention. Paperback is tremendous. But he also made this little game called Typewriter, which is essentially the same sort of idea, but you're using these little round chits or tokens that are like the round keys on a typewriter. So they
Like old school
represent.
typewriter.
Yeah, it's really clever the way they do it. And so they have the keys on one side, but then as you play the game, you get to flip them over when you use them in certain ways. And on the back side, they have special abilities like a deck builder. So you're collecting these and using them in certain ways, and making sure you use certain ones in different words so that you get their powers that you can use to manipulate your word next time. It's just really clever and super fun, very fast and easy to teach.
Are the chits like? Is it like a bag building game then?
Yes, it is a bag building game.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god! Like I like paperback. I have hardback. I've never played it yet. Which hardback, it seems like it's paperback, but a little bit more involved.
Yes, just a little, and I think the gameplay is actually better in hardback.
Oh, okay.
Paperback has a lot more variety, and hardback just has a little more crunch.
I'm looking forward to trying out Typewriter if it's a bag builder. That's me right there.
Yeah, it's a bag builder. It's you would love it. I if you like word games, this is my new favorite word game.
All right, James, what's your number 9?
Number 9. This is Harmonies. It's by I don't know if we're saying the designers, John Johan Benvenido. It's published by Libelud. It's a game which I'm assuming it might show up on George's. We won't say. It is a abstract game. You're trying to build a forest or something with using disc, and you have to place them a certain way, and you're collecting cards, gold cards, to do certain patterns. It's kind of like Reef, but a little more complicated, more involved in it. But it's really fun. I actually played this on BGA before I played it in real life, and I really hated it. So and now it's my number 9 because I played it in person, and it's a lot better in person. It's
that
just
more
so much,
tactile,
right? And it's easier to plan out what you're doing because you've got to think ahead. It's like, well, if I put this here, I'm not going to be able to put something else next to it unless I've got a scoring card. So it's all about collecting scoring cards. What you do is you draft disc off this little tableau, and then you draft the disc, you place the disc, and then you pull one of the gold cards if you have room for it. And you can only get rid of gold cards once you meet so many there's on there. They've got a little gem on each gold card. Once you meet that criteria, you pull that gem off and put it on top of one of the where it says to put it on on the disc. And there's a lot of disc placement rules. You can't put like certain things on top of another disc, different colors. And because they're supposed to be like trees and hills and stuff. But it's actually really fun. That's Harmonies. I don't know if you've all played that.
Yes, this game. You have these cards with animals on them that are so well drawn. The artwork in this is tremendous. And you're building habitats. You have to put these discs in certain patterns because they represent these habitats for the animals to live in. And it's just a lovely theme. The gameplay is so smooth and fun. And it is like Reef in a way, but also it's very much like Dreamscape, the first game that we all played together. And I absolutely love it.
I mean, it could have a different theme. I mean, it's very abstract.
It is very abstract, but the theme
really
works
good,
before it. Yeah.
How dare you? It has to be.
My number 9, I feel like we're going to talk about a little bit more here in a minute, but it is Survival of the Fattest. It is the most recent game that I played on here, and I played it because of George. We met at a gaming shop that opened up in Indiana, a cafe.
Right.
Which is a loose term for this place. Is come to this Geek Out. It's called Geek Out. No offense to them. Their board gaming library was a lot to be desired. I don't think they know much about board games.
It was just a soft opening. They haven't really decked the place out yet, I would say. So let's hope that they include a lot more gamer games going forward.
Well, I talked to them and they bought a huge inventory. When I say huge, I mean like 30 games. And like some of them are expansions and they don't have the base game. So whatever. They're like, anyway, not here to bash them. I mean, it's a really cool place. It's got a lot of space. And if they do it right, it's going to be awesome. But they have the potential to not do it right. So we'll see. Anyway, in Survival of the Fattest, it's a deck builder where you're basically these forest animals trying to hoard as much food as you can. And a lot of it has a little bit of worker placement. You're placing your guy out at these different areas so that you can flip out cards or, draw extra cards or whatever it is. And all those decks have different pieces of food. You just don't know what you're going to get, but each location has like a special power to it to maybe get different foods or more of random foods or whatever. There's also like a marketplace that you can go to. I guess it's a marketplace, but it's like you can craft recipes essentially, and that's how you get victory points. So you spend food to complete a recipe, and then you will place it somewhere. And what's really cool about that is you can place it somewhere. Like if you build it from the market, you actually get a bonus as well. Or you can like reserve the card and build it later, but you lose the bonus, but you don't have to worry about other people taking it. So overall, it was really cool. I guess it's really the only addition to the game because all of them come with the miniatures, right?
There's just that version that has the miniatures. Yeah. Some versions have an extra fox miniature and an extra deck for the fox, and that's the Kickstarter exclusive edition. But they all do have the miniatures and standees as well. But yes, this game, I love this game. I love this game so much. It's very interesting how they have each of the 7 or 6 animal characters with very distinct asymmetric abilities called tricks. So you can pull these tricks off as you're playing the game in ways that all the other characters can't do. And yet they seem to be very well balanced in my plays.
Yeah, their little trick cards do give them a very unique flair to each other. And it's a pretty cool game. I like it. And it has just enough player interaction as a deck builder. Because some deck builders are just, when it's somebody else's turn, you don't really care. And I'm not saying you really care that much in their turn, but there are some characters that you can play with that you do care what they're doing because they can change some things. And then I just wish it had a little bit of like when you went to a location, it was a little bit more interactive. It really is just who gets to pick first for the most part. But overall, really good game.
Fantastic. And this is one where the designer is also the artist. And you can tell there's just a lot of love poured into that game.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. I should have said it, actually. Survival of the Fattest designer Lee Smith. Lee Smith is the artist and the publisher is Dirty Rascal Games. My bad. James has been like owning me at my own podcast. All right, what's your number 9, George?
My number 9 is again a game where the designer is the artist, and it's Peacemaker's Horrors of War. This is a game.
Did I hear that correctly?
Peacemaker's Horrors of War.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. So this is a game by Sammy Lasco and published by Snowdale Design. They are the same outfit that does Dale of Merchants, which is one of my top of all time. And this one is a cooperative game where you have a deck of cards that gets dealt out to the players, just a few cards at a time, and you have to use the cards as your actions in order to frustrate the plans of these two armies that are going at each other through these AI decks. And you want to make it so that they are not successful in dominating one side over the other and causing bloodshed and carnage. You want them to give up and basically decide it's not worth it to fight anymore. And that's a unique theme for a war game, for sure. And it's wonderful the way they've pulled it off. And this second edition has very quick setup. It's one of these books that opens up spiral bound. In fact, you have 2 of them that go side by side, and that creates the map. And also,
that's cool.
Where you put your cards and everything. Yeah, it is really nice, and so it's just a breeze to put together and set it up, start playing. You're done. You can put it away very easily. They've improved on every aspect of the original in that regard. 6 unique scenarios, so you don't have to do them in order, but you could play them as a campaign. No need. You don't need to do so, and so they've really improved the entire game, I think.
Sounds cool. I like games with the little spiral bound notebooks.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Again, gorgeous art.
You
Gorgeous.
say not a fan?
Not a fan.
It does really, it like Jaws of the Lion is a really good example. I like the maps, and stuff. So anyway, that's a
James,
whole new discussion.
would you rather put out a bunch of little tiles and fiddle with all that?
Yes.
Because it's just part of the process that you're used to, or
Yeah. I
or is
guess.
there?
It just, I don't know, just doesn't do it for me.
That's fair.
All right.
All right, James,
That's
what's
my
your number 8?
9.
My number 8 is in the role player universe. It's Stone Spine Architects. I keep trying to say Stone Spire. So if I say Stone Spire, I'm wrong. It's Stone Spine Architects. It's a card drafting tableau building board game. It's designed by Jordan Aiden and published by Thunderworks Games. Obviously, if it's role player, what you're doing is you're Minotaur architects and you're trying to build a dungeon. And you start out with a goal card of what you want, certain icons in the part of the dungeon, and it goes over 4 rounds, aka 4 years, and you're drafting 4 cards per year. And as soon as you draft it, you have to place it. And then after each round of drafting, you can buy stuff to put in the dungeon to work towards goals that you have. And then after you're done for each round, the first 3 rounds at least, you draft a personal goal card. So you're kind of wanting to look at what those goal cards are. And if you want to make sure you get a certain goal card that nobody else gets, you're going to have to pass earlier than the other people and not buy as many things. It's you're trying to connect the entrance and the exit also for bonus points. So it's all in-game scoring, and you're just it's a puzzle type game where you're drafting and then you put the cards down to make a path through the dungeon, and also completing gold cards, like it says how many type of monsters that are in the dungeon will give you points, and other stuff. There's cards with points on them, stuff like that. So it's pretty fun. I keep saying that all my games are pretty fun, but I first played it in Origins, and it was a great experience, and so I've played it a few times more after that, and it's pretty fun.
It looks like
Architects.
It has sort of a very D&D kind of feel to it. Is that?
Well, that's the whole role player universe.
Yeah, it looks like D&D, but it's not. It's like I said, all it is you get a card, you get 4 cards, and you draft one, you place it, and pass it to.
You're talking about the art, right?
Yeah. So the role player, that's supposed to be in the same universe as D&D, is it?
No,
it's in
a fantasy universe.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one of the only games by Thunderworks Games I have not played. I really wish I would have played it before this. I kind of, I don't know. I guess it flew off my radar. I kind of forgot about it, but life's been busy, so that's probably
right.
more of what it's it. My number 8 is a game that we've already talked about, and that's Harmonies. Now, I wanted to mention one thing, but I didn't want to have nothing to say when it came back to me. When you play it on BGA, I understand what you're talking about, because it's really hard to get that 3D aspect to move around and everything. I have not actually played this physically. My brother has it, and I never got around to borrowing it. And I wanted to play it before we did this podcast, which ironically we planned months ago. You can play me, whatever. And so in the meantime, I've actually played it on Tabletop Simulator, and I understood more about man, you really the 3D element to this game is almost necessary, because you're building stuff, and it's not that it's dexterity based or anything. You just got to move around and be able to see things so you don't lose track of what you've got where. So BGA is a little bit tough to play this on. I mean, it's still a fantastic experience there too, but Tabletop Simulator was a lot better. And I am looking forward to playing it in person. I'm not entirely sure if it's a game I will end up buying because my brother owns it. It's definitely one that I really like. The only thing I had a problem with was one of the special ability cards from the cards you start with in the game. One made no sense. And I even read it and I was like, that makes no sense. And I looked it online and found it, but otherwise the rule book's pretty decent and the game's really good. And George said it, the artwork is great. So
yes. And the gameplay. I played this one, and the first time I played it, I said, this is game of the year. And then, I played a bunch of games since, so we'll see if that holds up for me. But Yes.
We'll see.
Great game.
Anyway, that's my number 8.
Okay, my number 8 is a game called Ovation. It is by Kirsten Lund, and the publisher is Looking Glass Workshop. This is a game that features gameplay very similar to Gizmos, if you're familiar, where you're chaining abilities together in different columns of cards. And here you're putting them behind your player board, and your player board looks like a piano keyboard, but it has numbers on it so that you move your tokens up across the piano as you get more and more of each of your resources. And the resources are sorrow, passion, and I'm trying to remember the other one. It's not anger, but anyway, it's some kind of emotion that this classical
Pain.
music is is generating in you as you're composing. And so the whole thing is you're Beethoven, or you are Haydn and all these different classical composers, and you're coming up with your magnum opus, I guess, of different works. And so what it really is where you're trying to collect resources in order to get these cards that then give you more abilities. Once you get certain abilities, you have these notes that you can play, so that you have to choose which of them you fire off. So when you choose an action that has 5 different cards that you've put behind it, that's great. But it's not like Gizmos where you get to do every one of those things. Now you have to make choices about which ones you're going to do. And as the game goes on, you get more of these musical notes, but you also get more cards put behind each of your options. So that difficult choice stays with you the entire time. And then you're collecting cards that are patrons that give you points at the end of the game, that kind of thing. And you're trying to create these different musical pieces that are another level up. You need, certain things to get to them. It's like a 4-layer sort of set collection kind of resource management, action selection, difficult choices. Fantastic.
That sounds really cool. Would you say it was? Because I'm going to write it down.
It's called Ovation.
Ovation. Okay.
And like every game, for me, the art is important, and I think the art is very well done here as well. The whole production, really good.
James, what you got for your number 7?
Yeah, my number 7 is my one and only co-op on this list. I'm not a huge fan of co-ops, but this one just struck the right chord with me, and it's called A Message from the Stars. It's a deduction game. It's by Clarence Simpson and published by Allplay. What you're doing is one person plays the humans, and the other plays, or a scientist, and the other one plays an alien. And the alien is trying to get you to guess the letters that it has behind its screen. And the way you do that is, and you're trying to, at the end, have the alien try to guess the 3 words that you have. What you're trying to do is you're trying to give a clue to the alien what your word is, and she'll score, or he. In my case, it was a she. That's why I say she. But because I played it at Origins at the Allplay booth, and it was she's trying to get you. She'll give you a score of that word, and that's based on the letter she has behind her screen. And so, point for each word, and then there's one letter, or per letter, that's behind her screen. Then there's one that's a multiplier. That makes it a little more difficult. So at first, you're not going to guess what the letters are, but you're trying to figure out what the letters. And unfortunately, the game has a steep learning curve. She taught me the game, and then about a quarter way through, I was like, hold up. And it finally caught on. So I had to erase everything I did, rewrite everything. She was laughing at me, but we actually got everything right except for she missed one of my words, but that was it. And it's really fun. I love these deduction games like Turing Machine, Search for Planet X, that's what this type of game is. You're trying to guess based on your clues and her clues, or the alien's clues, the scientist's clues. You're working together, and you can play as a few teams against each other, trying to get the best, so you can have multiple aliens behind the screen and multiple scientists, and those two are working together trying to beat the other team and score the more points.
That's good.
And it's actually a really good deduction game if you like those type of games. and I highly recommend it. It's a Message from the Stars.
Yeah, that
This
sounds
is
really
one
good.
that I really wish I had the opportunity to play because it sounds like it's right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I was going to buy it, but then I had nobody to play with, so I did not buy it. But I wish I could play it again. I definitely will try to get another game in sometime.
Yeah, I'll try to get in on that with you.
All right, my number 7 is also an all-play game, and it's by Satoru Nakamura, and it is Lore. It's a fishing game. It's a little small fishing game where you have all these different dice, like D&D dice, right? You got like 12-sided dice, 6-sided dice or whatever, and fish flip out in the middle of the table, and then everybody will take whatever dice they want to and put it out in the put it in the palm and not necessarily bidding, but you're committing those dice to the roll, and then everybody rolls at the same time, and you're trying to match the different requirements that are on the fish, like have a score of under this or have like a 2 and a 3 or whatever, and there's some other rules to it, obviously, but you're going to be able to collect those fish. But the problem is most of those dice go on cooldown if they're not like your basic, I think, 6-sided dice. The rest of them, all the special sided dice go on cooldown. And dude, this is just a really cool like filler. I mean, it's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The expansion, I think, really adds to it. But this is one of those games where the expansion came out, and I guess they didn't put it in the box so that the box wasn't bigger than what the little format of this size these games they have. They're like the 6x6 squares or whatever. It's just really fun. I really like this game. And I'm not an avid fisherman or anything.
No, I'm not either, but I am absolutely with you. This was my number 11, legitimately. It just got pushed off the list, and I love what you're talking about in this game, where you select the number of dice you're going to play with, and you hold it in your fist, and everyone holds it out, and then you reveal at the same time. And you want to use more dice because then you'll be able to do more and catch more fish. But the person who has the lower number of dice gets to go first.
Yeah, right. It is
great.
It is really clever. Really clever.
Yeah, I've only played that on BGA. I've been wanting to play it in real life. So.
Oh man, actually, I didn't even know it was on BGA. All right, things changed. Anyway, that's my number 7.
Tremendous. My number 6.
7? Did you do your 7?
7? Did I do my 7? My number 7. Sorry. My number 7 is Bomb Busters. And Bomb Busters is a game in which, for no reason at all, you're rabbits and various other kinds of animals. And I didn't even think about that when I chose this one, so don't say anything, James.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Not every one of my games has animals. I don't think. Anyway, but what you're doing is you're defusing bombs, and you're doing that by selecting tiles on the other player's boards, which are not able to be seen, but you have to deduce where their numbers are because everything has to be in numerical order. And you know what numbers are in the game, and you kind of have to figure out what the distribution is so that you can make a guess that matches a wire, that because the tiles all represent wires, you want to guess one that matches your wire so they can be cut at the same time without blowing up the bomb. And in the box, from that basic framework, then there are all these other scenarios and rules that are layered on top of that. And you have special cards, tools that you have access to that give you other abilities. But there are certain red wires. If you cut those, you immediately lose. You have yellow wires. If those get cut in the wrong sequence, then you immediately lose. Bomb goes off. It takes this very basic, simple idea and then goes through 66 missions with it. A very difficulty of all different sort of little sets of boxes that you get to open up and reveal new content. And it is just fantastic. So much gameplay and so fun. It's just so satisfying.
I had a buddy that played this at a local con just recently and said he loved it, but then he hated Hands of Teutonica, so his opinions are not really valid. But yeah, so I was curious about that. That's the first time I've heard about it when he mentioned it.
It's just brilliant. Yeah. Bomb Busters, that is by Hasashi Hayashi, and it is published by Cocktail Games.
My number 6 is Let's Go to Japan. It's a set collection board game, and you're trying to plan your trip out to Japan. It's by AEG, and it's a very light card game. My only problem I've come across is for some reason people have a hard time grasping the game at first. I don't know why it's not too difficult. It's just it's a lot of iconography. But what you're doing is you're just playing, you're getting cards, then you're playing one and you give the other card to the other player. And it depends on which round you're at is what happens with the cards. And it's just a light, fun game. You're trying to do set collection for each day of the week. You go Monday through Saturday, I think, off the top of my head. So you're trying to plan out your trip to Japan, and you go from Kyoto to Tokyo back and forth. But you're not wanting to go back and forth that many times. So you're trying to plan out staying in one city for a few days and then the next a few days. But you have ways to mitigate that so it doesn't hurt you at the end of the game. But it's another in-game scoring game. So during the game, you might not know what exactly your score is, but it's a light, fun card placing game, tableau building, and you're trying to you put 3 cards in a day. Once you do that day is done. But if you have the number symbols for that day that the day wants, you can add more stuff to it. You can add another card or get other stuff during the game, and it's a good light card game.
I've seen this before. It looks really cool. And for some reason, I thought it's been out for years. I guess, is there a Let's Go to something else?
Or am I just, I know of.
All right. Well, fair enough.
I've wondered about that, though. They should make Let's Go to other places as well. Maybe they're doing that.
Right. He, the designer was going to go to Japan, and the world shut down in 2020. So he couldn't go. And then he designed this game based on him planning to go to Japan.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I hope he plans to go to Ireland.
Yeah.
Let's go to Ireland. All right. My number 6 is a game that I did not think would actually make it on this list, but then we played it a couple of times and I was like, all right, I got to give it to it. It is Gnome Hollow by Amon Anderson and published by Levity Games, or well, the OP actually. My wife really likes like fairies and foxes and not farm animals, but like the animal, like forest animal type games and stuff like that. And it's really cool. And she likes gnomes and mushrooms and all that stuff. And I like it. It's really cool. I looked at it. I was like, oh yeah, like tile laying game or whatever. But it really is a lot of fun. I had more fun than I thought I would. And when you flip it over to the other side and do like the advanced game, it gets a little bit, or it can be a little bit like backstabby, I guess. Cause like you could be building something and you're like, nope. And it really does mess people up. Although it does make the game way longer on the advanced side, but it's a really fun game. It's got really good components. If you have the upgraded components, they're really, really nice. It's one of the first games I've seen where they have magnetic boards that just come in the base game. And that's wild. I actually don't think it was necessary for this game. What a weird game to start off with a magnetic board with. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but you have like, I don't know. There's just so many other games I would think magnetic pieces would work better with, but it didn't necessarily need it. But yeah, Gnome Hollow is really, really fun.
Would you say, I haven't played this one, but I'm interested, but I don't like the backstabbing nature of the game.
There's really no backstabbing in the base game. And you can't even build on other people's circles. Like if I start a circle, you can't build on it to continue the trail if I have my gnome there. But on the other side, in reality, it doesn't really matter, because if somebody puts a piece, what the backstabby part is when you're building and you're putting the hexes next to each other. If I put a hex like one space away, then the hex that you put in the middle has to match my hex and your hex.
Right.
And so it might limit the pieces, but on the other side, on the advanced side, you have to complete specific patterns. And that's where it becomes backstabby to some degree, because you can you could put pieces down that will really screw up what they're trying to accomplish. In the basic game, it doesn't even matter. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to use the same tile over here and accomplish the same thing.
Okay, but if it's the advanced game, you have to actually make a specific pattern, and once it's messed up, that's just done. You can't do it.
I mean, you might just be waiting around longer for a piece to come out, is really what it comes down to.
Okay.
but there are a couple of patterns where it requires a very specific piece in the center, and there's less of those in the game. And so it's much harder. Is it necessary? No. Usually people are kind of busy doing their own thing. And so if you spend the time to mess somebody else up just by putting a piece out there, you're kind of just wasting your own turn to some degree.
Yeah.
But it could be really fun. So
I'm interested in this one.
Yeah, it's really good. So Gnome Hollow.
Another BGA game for me only. It's been on my list to play in real life. So
yeah, you've got to try those magnetic pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, the board's magnetic. It's wild. Like all the player boards, nothing else is.
All right, well, let's move on to my number 6. And this is the heaviest game that I have on my list, and one that I wasn't prepared to like as much as I did. And it really blew me away. Not the kind of game I typically enjoy, but wow, this one is good. It's called Unconscious Mind. It's a heavy Euro game. You are doing worker placement, engine building. There's rondels that you have that you get to, kind of like that whole Gizmos idea, where you are putting these tiles and creating what happens when you do a particular action and adding to it each time. The trick of when you manage this rondel and when you hit those extra actions, I really enjoyed. I think you guys just might have this on your list. You might have more to say about it than I do. So I'll kind of let you jump in.
I have a feeling it's going to pop back up. We'll go to James.
I definitely have a feeling it's going to pop up because that is my number 5, Unconscious Mind.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I played this with Tim and Eric on Tabletop Simulator and then immediately bought it right after we played it. It's just a fantastic game. I'm kind of glad George got it first because it's one of the 2 games on my list I have trouble explaining. I don't know why.
But, me too. That's why I gave up and said you guys explain it.
Yeah, it's a worker placement. You're trying to cure patients using, you first try to pull off that top card from the patient and then cure the patient. It's just a really fun game. And I think when I play it more, it'll probably go higher up on this list because it's a really fun game. And I didn't expect I'd like the game based off the theme because I'm not really, psychiatry is just kind of boring. But it's actually a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
And again, for me, the art, I can't say enough about it. It has these kind of Dixit-like images that correspond to the dreams. And I just love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's got the see-through cards that you put on top of the patients.
Yes.
That's the dream cards.
Yeah.
Those that represent the psychoses that they have.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move on and maybe talk about it a little bit later. My number 5 is Reef Project. This is a game by Martino. You know what? I'm not even going to try that. I apologize, designer. Oh, you know what? I'll give them a fair shake. Martino Chiara and Federico P.R. Lorenzi. And it's published by Breden Dice. Actually, who was the actual? Is that Breden Dice? Yeah, Breden Dice. It is a game where you're, I guess, trying to, save the coral reefs or whatever, or build them out or whatever. You're moving this boat around. You're dropping down these coral reefs. It has a really cool mechanism where if you have coral reefs, it costs you less energy to move along the path. But it's also you're putting these reefs down to these reef jars or whatever they are to area control like certain parts of the map in order to get, the thing in the middle. And there's like these little islands that you're moving between. It's been a little bit since I played this, so it's hard for me to explain it in super detail. Plus we don't, for sake of time, you do have like a player board that has a ship and you're collecting these different, people to work on your ship, and they have like actions. And sometimes you'll be able to activate like a certain row or column, and you can get lots of cool combos that way. It is a really, really fun game. It's super bright and colorful, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's a little bit like the first couple of plays are a little bit longer than they probably should be for like a 4-player game, but it's definitely one of those games that the more you play it, the quicker it's going to become. It's just, there's a lot to do and a lot of cool interactions and stuff. And the components are super good. And yeah, have you all played this one?
No, not at all. No.
Oh my gosh.
In fact, this is the first time I'm looking at it, and yeah, it looks like you said, really bright and welcoming. I would definitely give this a try.
Yeah, there's so many other little things I haven't even mentioned. Like you go up on these little tracks and stuff and you can get special abilities that way. And it's a really, really good game. Really good game. As a matter of fact, if I played it more, it probably would maybe edge out a couple of more games above this one. But anyway, that's my number 5 is Reef Project.
Nice. My number 5 has already been mentioned. It is Harmonies.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't actually make it to the top of the year as I originally thought. It definitely had a shot. A lovely, lovely game. It again reminds me so much of Dreamscape, which is one of my favorite games. So this one is like Dreamscape Light. And so when I want a shorter version of that, I definitely pull this one out. It's just tremendous.
Cool.
My number 4 is the Wingspan successor, Wormspan. It's Wingspan with Dragons. It's designed by Connie Vogelman and developed by Elizabeth Hargrave, published by Stonemaier Games. I don't know much to say about this since it's just dragons
Wingspan.
instead of birds, Wingspan. But it does a little different. Instead of using cubes every round to do your actions, you have coins. And you actually have the same amount of coins every round. And you have to build caves for the dragons to go into. So, I mean, and it's got also a track that you can move around on to get more not eggs, but meat and milk and stuff to track the dragons. But I actually enjoy Wormspan better than Wingspan. It's more of a more gamery Wingspan. Great artwork. Obviously, there's eggs for dragons. I'm trying to think of it. And also in the Wingspan, you have a cube. You can move down the line and you activate each card as you go. In Wormspan, you actually have to activate a explorer to move along that line to activate the dragons and get resources. And that's Wormspan by Stonemaier Games.
I don't have much to say about this except for when it came out in 2019, we talked about it on this podcast, and I literally said Dragonspan.
You did.
And so called it.
I recall that. I do recall that. Yeah.
And
I feel this one, I think for me, it would be, I haven't played it. And really the reason I haven't played it is because I don't like it. Like, I don't like the idea of dragons instead of birds. I think really like the birds.
I think I recall you saying that in 2019 as well.
What do you think about fish?
Yeah, well, I like fish. Fish are all right.
Finspan's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but I will. I do. I like, real animals, but this whole thing of it just, to me, it I don't know. It turns me off, the idea of all these made up animals, and then okay, it runs along the same lines, but I don't know that I can care that much.
Fair enough.
And then secondarily, it seems a little convoluted. Like you said, it's more gamery, but I wonder if it would annoy me that I have to move my guy into the caves or whatever, instead of just, okay, I did this row and now I get to do all those things in that row,
Right. And then you also have
to try it out.
Yep, I will. To be fair, I do have to play it. I haven't played it.
My number 4 is a game that I actually played with James. It is Cities by DeVere. Designer is Steve Finn and Phil Walker Harding. And man, this thing is great. It is a really, really good game. It's lighter. It's like a 30 to 40 minute game. And there's just these 4 rows of things that you will be, I guess, like first come, first serve type of like drafting, right? So if you place on like the one row, you take the tile or whatever, but then now you can't pick anything else from that row, and then everybody else. So effectively, you're going to take 4 things. You're going to take a card and a feature or whatever they're called, and like some pieces, and then a tile. But it's more like whoever gets to each line first will get the better option, even though it might not be better for everybody. It's at least better for you. And so it's got this really cool, like which row do I go to first? Because you don't want to, if I remember correctly, you have to place the stuff you get immediately, so you can't like hoard stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. And so like sometimes you're kind of reading the map or the board and the options for that round. You're like, oh, well, I want to get these pieces, but if I go and get the tile first, then somebody else is going to get the pieces. But I don't want to get stuck with a crappy scoring card that doesn't do anything for me because I'm not going for red buildings or whatever. Man, it is a phenomenal game. This is a really, really good light game. Yeah, I really like it. It's super good.
Yeah, I ended up winning it at that con that we played it at,
You
and
did.
it's a hit at our house too. We play a lot, and I've
Nice.
taught other people, and they've all liked it. It's a pretty good game.
Yeah, if you like light games, I could just recommend this one. Period.
Well, I
It
do
is
like
really
light
good.
games. I haven't tried this one. I need to.
Oh
give it a
yeah,
shot.
yeah. You got to try this one.
All right. Well, I have for my number. What are we on?
4.
4. My number 4. This is one that sort of came out of nowhere and really surprised me. It could have been my game of the year, but some other games edged it out. But this one is Wilmot's Warehouse. And this is a game where you are working together with the other players. You're running a warehouse, and which is represented by just a board with a 7x7 grid. Then you have a big bag of tiles, and you pull out a tile, and it has a picture on it, some abstract image. And you think to yourself, what could that be? What could it look like? And then you put it in the center of the map, and then you tell a little story about what that thing is, what it represents to you. And then the next player goes, they pull out another tile, it's got another image, and they're going to put it next to yours and tell a little story, connecting it to what was already there. So you're building the map out with all of these branching stories that are all interconnected. And the reason you're doing it that way is to help you remember what they are, because remember, you put them all face down and you don't ever get to look at them again. And you have to, but by the end,
I'd so be bad at this. Keep going.
you have this board of 7x7 tiles all face down. And it's astonishing at the end, because you've told all these little stories about them, you remember what they all are. And then there's 1 minute where you divide up these cards that are all customers with the same pictures on them. And you're going through as fast as you can and finding them and putting them in the right place. And if you see someone put something in the wrong tile, you can move it, and you've got a minute to do this. And then you check, how many did you get right? And it's like a magic trick. It's astonishing that you can remember all of this. And you can remember it a week later.
You can remember all this. This ain't.
No, I mean, really, a week later, you can be like, oh, there was the bear and it broke the guy's leg and that caused the, it's just amazing. And it's so much fun as a storytelling game, first of all. And then secondarily, for me as a language teacher, to use this in my classroom has been tremendous, because you have to tell the story in your second language now, right? But then still it's making you use the language and to good effect, because you want to do well in the game and remember everything. It's great. Just a great game.
That does sound kind of cool. It's like a memory game, but you're telling a story to remember. Whereas if you're playing a normal memory game, you're trying to tell yourself like red, blue, green, blue, green.
Exactly.
And like there's no substance there to let you remember what it is. And that does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good. And there are also these cards that you can get. You select a certain number, one for every day of the game, and they're memos from headquarters. They mess with you and they say, during this round, this thing happens, and they're all different kinds. And it's great. It's the humor in the game is fantastic. Yeah.
The internet wants me to buy this game because I've been seeing it for weeks. Everywhere I go, it pops up, and I was like, "What is this game?"
It is Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wilmot's Warehouse. It's actually, I didn't know this at the time that I got the game and started playing it as a board game, but there's a computer game called Wilmot's Warehouse that is similar in certain ways, I guess. You don't tell stories, but you have a warehouse and all this stuff comes in and you have to arrange it in stacks and then, satisfy customers. You have to run around and go give them the right stuff. So yeah, it's been around as a computer game apparently.
Huh. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, as a board game, I love it.
All right, James, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Forges of Ravenshire. It is a medium weight Euro style board game designed by Sam Stockton and published by BA Games. It is a dice placement game. You're placing, trying to get resources and stuff, and then you also pull back a die. So it's like Raiders of the North Sea mechanic, where you place a worker, you get, and you pull another one, and you also get what you pulled from. And it's based on the number on the die. So you roll your dice every round, and a lot of times the higher the number, the more stuff you'll get per location. But you're also allowing somebody else to get that if you put down like a 6, and it gives you multiple resources. But then after you pull back all the dice, it's usually, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. This is one of the ones I can't remember exactly how it works. But I've played it multiple times. And you pull the die and you put it back on your own personal board, which then at the end of the round allows you to upgrade your personal board to do things. And you also use that to get more types of resources and stuff. And you also, each player has async powers, allows you to do different things, breaks the rules of the game. But it's, if you like that type of game where you're placing dice, getting stuff and doing stuff, and then pulling back a die to get stuff, I mean, it's a pretty good game, pretty good worker placement game, or it's a dice placement. And but you're trying not to help out your other players too much by giving them nice dice out there, but you're wanting also stuff for you to get points based on what you're building and getting cards and objectives. And that's and we call it, I always, on the cover, it's a badger with his tongue out, and we always call it Derpy Badger game. So that's mainly what I remember it being. But it's actually the artwork. I know George would like it if he's seen it. It's George's type of artwork, and it's a cutesy, cartoony. It's animals, morphic animals.
People. I have no interest. Yeah,
and they're but it's that is Forges of Ravenshire.
This is another one my brother's been talking about and wants me to play. And yeah, I mean, this is another one I'll be borrowing from him. So
yeah, well worth it.
Cool. I want to play this one. This is on my list of games that I haven't played. I want to play it. Yeah, for sure.
My number 3 will be really quick. It is Unconscious Mind. I just got a couple of things I will say. One, I do like the fact that it's worker placement to some degree because you're putting these little idea things on the board. And what's really fascinating is the fact that you can double up on them and do the action twice. You can also use like your little idea thing to do it as well. But if you can't take the same spot twice, but if you go there with 2 action markers on the same action, you can do it twice. And that was really cool. The only thing I don't like about the game, honestly, is this, you have this wheel that you put your resources on and you move them around this wheel. And sometimes it's a little bit confusing. I like to have pieces in my hand, people, but thematically, I think thematically it works, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's levels of consciousness. It's like, the depth of consciousness. That's so cool.
And that's what I meant. Thematically it works, but I like to hoard and have all these little pieces in front of me, and spin them. So it's a me problem, not the game problem, but yeah, it is a fantastic game. Everything about it is really good. It's got a lot of cool things going on all at the same time. But it's not one of those games where it has a bunch of mechanisms that are like mini games. There are mechanisms that really intertwine with each other. So it's a fantastic game. I'm looking forward to playing the Nightmare expansion or whatever it's called to see what that adds.
Yes. Oh, it's I'm not surprised that this was a 3-way crossover. It's well deserving this year.
Also, this is the one that I thought would be the 3-way crossover. What's your number 3? All
right. My number 3 is Survival of the Fattest. Speaking of crossovers, this is that high for me. I can't get enough of this game. I really, really love the way that it has these asymmetric abilities. When you go out and you forage, you're trying to get, I think as you put it, Tim, all the food that you can. That's not really true because you have to be selective and you have to satisfy your recipes. And when you get the food, then later you have to store it to use for your recipes. But when you do so, you no longer get to look at it. You've squirreled it away somewhere. You've put it in your stash, and then you just have to remember what's there. And normally,
which
that
doesn't
kind of
work with a toddler walking around, and I had to go back and forth. I don't know. I had no idea what was in my stash, honestly, like 90% of the time. Anyway,
yeah, but I didn't either, and I didn't have that issue. So, so normally that kind of memory where you just have to remember these things, that bothers me. But in this game, it doesn't. It really works for me. I think this game is one of my new favorite deck builders out there.
Cool. Yeah, if Sierra, my wife, was doing a list, this might be on hers as well. She really enjoyed it.
Fantastic.
So, thanks for teaching us.
Absolutely, yeah. Great game. My number 2.
What are you?
What?
Are you just going to go on?
Sorry.
My top 2 are far heads and shoulders above the other 8. So you have to play these or own them in your lifetime before you die because they're that good.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to get my loud keyboard ready to type out the names.
Number 2 has been mentioned. I don't know if it was on the podcast before, but it is Fromage. You are playing as cheese makers.
Oh, I think we talked about it prior to the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is designed by Matthew O'Malley and Ben Rossett, and it's published by Road to Infamy Games. And I keep hitting the microphone. And it says 30 to 45 minutes, but it can be lots faster than that. It is a very fast game. The board is a circle, and it's 4 different wedges. And whatever wedge is facing you is what you're playing on. So on your turn, you can do 2 things: get resources and or make a cheese. And you have 3 different cheeses: hard cheese, soft cheese, and blue cheese. And it's based on, you can age them, and every turn of everybody plays at once on their wedges. And once everybody's done, you rotate the board 1 click so the next wedge is facing you. And that represents a year in the aging of the cheeses. Your cheese, you can play a cheese, but if you do 3 years, you get the cheeses, you get your workers back when they're facing you. So if it's a 1 year aged cheese, it's just going to be 1 click and the worker's going to come back to you the next round. But if it's 3 years, you're going to have to wait till you get that worker back. And what you do is you've got order cards, a certain amount aged type cheese, and also you can get fruit to put on the cheese. You could also, and each wedge is a different type of play mechanic. One is like an area control. One is you get so many of your cheeses in a row or in a line. You get points off that. Or if you control so many shelves on one of them. And the other one is you want different tables to be at. So, I mean, it's all different strategies, and it's very fast paced because you're all going at once. And you can get animals to help you out to get more cheese, like cows and goats. And you can also get buildings, which kind of help you with your cheese making. But it is a very fast pace. And if you know it and play it, it could take you 20 minutes, and that's it. And it scales pretty well because you have different inserts for number of players. It really shines at 4, but I've played it at 2 and it does really good there too. And like I said, it's really fast. It's highly recommended. At least play it once in your life.
All right. Well, that settles it. That's the one I was bringing up that ironically I said, I don't know if this would have made my list had I played it, but all right. He's speaking really highly of it. So I'm definitely going to try it out now.
I think that's on BGA also.
Yes.
Number 2 is Botanicus. This is by Hans and Gluck. And it is designed by Samuel Tabellini Ferrari and Vieri Massini. Oh my gosh. I apologize if you're a designer and you're listening to this because I don't know if I just need to practice that prior to the episode, but whatever. Botanicus is a game where you are moving on. I mean, there's a theme, but you're moving on these 3 different tracks, right? But to move on those tracks, you're taking an action. And so there's a grid of actions at the bottom, and everybody has their token on like the previous action. And then so whoever's on top gets to move first, even though the top action is kind of weaker than the bottom action. And so I move, I take a spot, and then James moves. He has to choose one of the other spots on that same action column. And then, the next person moves, they have to choose one of the available ones that hasn't been taken, and so on and so forth, or whatever. I mean, I guess technically you can take the same one. There's a little bit of stuff there, but you want to go to one that's not selected because there's a tile there that you get, and you get to do like something else as well. But anyway, you're just moving from the action track from left to right. And once you're done with the track, you do it again, but you flip all these tiles over or whatever so that the actions slightly change. And then the game ends. But what you're doing through it is you're moving on these 3 little tracks. You're moving like this little plant thing. And it's a way for you to get money, and there's a way to get watering cans because you have a player board in front of you and you're walking around on it to plant these plants. You need to get like the plants to be able to plant them, and then you can move around to get water to be able to increase them from level 1, 2, 3, 4. And man, this game is really, really fun. Like really fun. It is definitely a game that shines probably at 3 and 4 players. It's really good at 2 though. This is one of the I don't play a lot of 2-player games, but Sierra and I do play 2-player games. So I've been getting a lot more 2-player games at the table. And this as a 2-player game is really good as well. And there is some action boards, or not action boards, but player boards. You can flip them over and do like asymmetrical player boards. Some people say that they're not 100% balanced, but I mean, unless you're playing this game a lot, you're not going to notice that. It is really good. Very fun game.
One I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't heard of this either. Yeah, this is completely new to me. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. We played it at Gen Con, I think in 2023, maybe. No, we played it in August of 24, but it didn't come out until like November or December or something. But we played it, we demoed it. We basically went through half the game, and it's a really quick game. It's like an hour, maybe hour and 20 or something. The box says 45 to 60. So yeah, it's like an hour. Really good game.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting that you both chose basically shorter games, shorter Euro games as your number 2s.
We haven't got to number 1 yet. What's your number 2, George?
All right. My number 2 is Maple Valley. Maple Valley is one that I've enjoyed so much every time I've played it. And it's one where you have a board with different trails. There's river trails and mountain trails and forest trails. And so you play cards to move from trail to move around the trails. And the cards that you're playing are cards that you can acquire during the game as friends. So you're basically sending these characters out to go do things for you. And your goal in the game is to get more of these as the game goes on so that you have more actions. And as you run around, you're collecting things and then using them to satisfy these, I guess, contracts in a way, sort of a contract satisfaction kind of game where you're providing entertainment to the festival that's going to happen at the end of the game. And so I just realized that kind of game where I have to figure out the best way to go where I want to go and to collect things in the most efficient manner is one that just really sings for me. And this one is gorgeous. It's fast playing, very easy, friendly game. I can't say enough. Maple Valley is my strong number 2.
With animals.
Yeah.
Sierra and I were going to buy this one. And I really liked was it Kids at the Table or something? What, KTBG?
Yes, Kids Table Board Games is the publisher. I should probably mention that. And the designer is Roberta Taylor. We
really like a lot of their games, like Veggie Dice. That's a fun one.
Okay,
and,
I haven't played that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And
the one that was before this that is similar is Creature Comforts.
Okay, yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Well, it actually says Creature Comforts Maple Valley on the box.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I've never really thought about that. Yeah, that's funny.
Cool. Yeah, I'll play this one.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
All right, that was our 2s, right? Yeah, so if you're not familiar with our show, what we like to do in our top 10 list is always add an honorable mention. And the honorable mention is something that probably wouldn't be on your top list, maybe because it's something that there's flaws to it, or, you like the game, but not enough to put it on there, not even enough to put it on like, top 20 or whatever. Whatever the case is, the criteria is really loose, by the way.
Oh,
Good, because that wasn't my criteria.
I was thinking the same thing.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That every single time I talk about this, like I remember George always has different criteria. He's like, I
Yeah.
just wanted to talk about this game. Mine is I don't really put a lot of party games on my top 10 lists unless it's a game specifically about party games. So my honorable mention, sorry, jumping the gun here. Let's start with James. I
Well, that's fine.
apologize, James.
Now, I actually, real quick, I have 2 honorable mentions because they would have been in my top 10, but for reasons I had to take them out. They are Imperium Horizons and Foundations of Metropolis.
I feel like I know the answer to the first one. Go ahead.
Imperium Horizons is more or less a standalone expansion, but it is standalone. But I love Imperium, the deck building game, all 3 versions of it, and that's why I wouldn't add it to. And I love deck
It's like
builders,
the same game, but more of it.
Right, more factions or people. And Foundations of Metropolis is more or less Foundations of Rome, just with polyomino tiles instead of those buildings. Otherwise, the exact same game. And that's why I really like Foundations of Rome. And Metropolis is just a cheaper version of that. Instead of $200, it's like $30.
That's a really good thing for them to do because Foundations of Rome was incredibly, number one, hard to get anyway, and number 2, expensive.
Right.
So it was a really, really good choice. And also those are great choices for the honorable mention. That's the kind of stuff I was talking about as well. So my honorable mention is Adventure Party by Smirk and Dagger Games. I'm not sure if y'all heard of what this is.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of it.
Basically, you read off, everybody sits around, you read off a little card that says, oh, you're fighting a dragon and blah, blah, blah. And it sets the tone of what it is. And then on your turn, you have to start talking about what you're going to do. Like, I'm going to run up with my battle axe and jump at it. And then you roll a die, the 20-sided die behind a hidden screen. And whatever the number is, you have to act out what you're doing, but you don't reveal the number to everybody. And then everybody else is going to basically guess, try to get as close to the number that so obviously if you roll like a 1 and your story is just ludicrous where the axe, the blade comes off the handle of your axe as you're swinging and you're smacking them in the nose with a stick and the axe flies up in the air and lands on your head, stuff like that. It's really funny and people are trying to guess what number it is and stuff. It's definitely one of those games where it's probably better there is a scoring system or whatnot, but it's kind of like, who cares? You're just really doing it for fun.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's great. Do you even really need the game? You could kind of do this without it, but it's really fun to have the game because there are cards and stuff that kind of dictate what kind of things you have, which is great for people who don't really know a lot about D&D or fantasy type games. And it also allows you to not have to think about every single aspect. It's like, use these things or whatever. So really, really great game. It's not really panning out for some of the people I know, but it's all good, to each their own. It's fun. Our group doesn't really do improv very well, but I love it. So
yeah, this game is great. I didn't realize it was 2024. It would have been on my list. It would have absolutely been on my list and high up too, because this is another one. This is another one that's a classroom game for me. I use it in my class. It's tremendous, to get people to use language and it's just such a fun idea. It really is nice to have the cards. Yeah, I think it is great to have the cards to get people started as well.
All right, cool. What's your honorable mention, George?
My honorable mention is an honorable mention because it isn't a standalone game. So I put it on here as an honorable mention. It is Meadow, the Adventure Book, which has one of these books that flips open and becomes another
James's favorite.
But it's not quite in the same way. This one has 6 different game-changing additions to the game. So you have the book with 6 pages, but 6 double-sided pages, but you also have 6 little boxes, and each of them they have cards, extra cards that could come into play. They have tokens that can come into play, and separate rules that govern how the game of Meadow changes. And so it's tremendous amount of content and variability to the game and to one of my favorite games. So I had to bring this one up because anytime I can talk about Meadow, I'm going to.
No, that's fine. I feel like honorable mention is also a great place for expansions, because sometimes expansions are really good, but it's not necessarily so good that it takes one of your top 10 spots.
Yeah, and this is definitely one of those. It's I can't say enough. It's so much content.
So before we move on to our number ones, I'm going to be full disclosure and say, here's a couple of games that I wish I would have played because it's very likely they would have stolen a spot on this list. Number one is SETI. I don't know why I never got around to playing this. I really wanted to. My brother owns it. I'm lazy. No, I'm just kidding. I just got a lot of house projects and things like that. And you choose certain games to play, and that one just never got around. Number two, I own it. I don't know why I haven't played this. It's Skyrise. It's like a bidding game, and it's like steampunk. I mean, dude, it's like straight up my alley. Number three is Fractured Sky.
Yeah.
Which looks phenomenal. And number four is Roma Nova. Nova Roma. I don't know what the Pig Latin was there going. Nova Roma. So
okay.
I'm not 100% if Nova Roma would have made it, but I think Fractured Sky had a really good chance. SETI had a really good chance, and Skyrise had probably 50-50 chance of at least knocking Draft and Write records off of the number 10 slot. So that's for me. I don't know if you guys have any of those you want to mention or not, or we're just jumping into number one.
Well, I can say that SETI nearly made my list, and I had to decide between SETI and Unconscious Mind, and I went with Unconscious Mind for my big Euro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which is crazy because you usually don't have like a bunch of big Euros on there, so I guess you're just picking one.
It was a great year for big Euros though, because SETI is fantastic.
Yeah.
The only SETI's about the only one on my to-do or playlist. I haven't played it. Looks like definitely a game I would like. I can tell you Skyrise is my 15. And what was the other one you mentioned?
Fractured Sky.
And the other one?
Nova Roma.
Nova Roma. That was 2024? Because that would have been up probably top 20 also. But yeah, Skyrise was pretty good. We played did you get the Kickstarter version?
No. I wish I would have, but I didn't. It looks amazing, but not necessary, I guess. So
Nova Roma is on my list to look at Origins when I go, maybe to buy it. So that's how much I liked it.
Cool.
But
I had a couple that I hadn't played that I think really very much could have made my list, and one of them is Tir na Nog. It's a game where you're I guess I haven't played it, so I don't really know, but I guess you're trying to set up combinations of cards that are all related to Irish mythology and Irish tales. So it has this incredible art, and of course it's about Ireland. So I'm really sad that I never got a chance to play it. And the reason is because I didn't fill out the game found when I ordered it. Somehow I didn't do the last step. So they never sent it to me. And then I contacted them and said, hey, I never got this game. And they said, okay, that'll be okay. We'll send it to you with the expansion because you're also backing the expansion. And that hasn't arrived yet. So.
Rough.
Yeah. So there's that one. And then another one that would have made my list, I think, is Arcs. Arcs is one that a lot of people have really enjoyed. And that one is one that uses the mechanisms of a game that I did get to play called Brian Boru, High King of Ireland. So, maybe I just stick with that one instead anyway. But I enjoyed that one so much that I think I would enjoy Arcs as well.
I'm not like super into the space theme. So Arcs and Andromeda's Edge, even, which is weird because I love Dwellings of Eldervale or whatever. That's the game. That was one of the games that I played the first time. I was like, this is trash garbage. And I played it again. I'm like, oh, this is okay. This is cool. And then you play it again. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Like, it's just a weird combination of Euro and just random Marathrash type stuff. And so Andromeda's Edge is obviously similar, but it's not as like engaging to me because it's the space theme. And I don't know. I'm not anti-space theme. It just doesn't really resonate with me so well. So
I'm with you.
Forget about them. But let's do our number ones. Drum roll. That was terrible.
Well, I can't do a
James.
drum roll. Well, George, I'm really sad that you didn't get that game because that is my number one game of 2024, Tyr Nanog.
Oh no, that makes me even more upset.
It is
Wow.
you're playing the role of a Celtic storyteller, and you're trying to. What you do is you're placing your worker between cards that you're wanting, and
Okay.
at the beginning of the game, you'll get three rows, and get three different objectives for your personal, and you're trying to draft cards to match that objective that's on that row. So it's one of the few games that you want to go last. You want to be last, but the turn order rotates. So you're going to be first at one time, but because it goes in player order when you place your storytellers to get the cards, you put them between the cards, two cards, because I think it's a grid of 3x3. Other people can place it another between this one card and another card.
Right.
When you pick the cards, you pick a card on either side of your worker. You do that in reverse turn order. So if you're first, you place your workers first, but you might not have your card by the time it gets back to you.
Right. Somebody could really mess with you.
And you go around one by one, picking up each worker and pulling a card. So you're going to have to pay attention to what the other players are wanting, because if you get to pick before them, you want to make sure you get that certain card that you need to do objectives. And also the cards will score based on what's around them or what's in that column or what's in the row. That's including the objective on the row itself. And you have to, when you place it in a row, it has to go to the far left as far as it can, the empty space. And I think it's a max 5-card limit, but there are things that break that rule, allow you to put more cards. But it's just it's another fast 45-hour game. And it's Irish, holds to my last name, my Irish history, myself, and lineage. And it's all about Celtic artwork. And to me, it's up there with it's a big 3 Irish games, Inish by Brian Boru, and this one, Tyr Nanog. It's a very fantastic game. I immediately, when we played it, got on Kickstarter and backed the second printing, which hopefully comes in July or August. But
this is the expansion.
It comes with the expansion, yeah. But it's the expansion Kickstarter, but I got the original game too, because I think it's hard to find. But if you have a chance to play this, and I'm very sorry you didn't get to play it, because it is a very fantastic game. It's very fun. And like I said, you're hoping to go last because you get to pick the card first. Get your choice of card. And if your worker ends up around no cards, by the time he comes around, you can, at the end of the round, you get to pick whatever's from what's left. So you always get a card, but the card goes into your hand, so you don't have to immediately play that card. It goes in your hand, and you can play whatever cards are one card from your hand down to your tableau. And it's a fantastic game. I mean, every time I play it, I leave with great feelings and just joy with it. And I highly recommend it.
I can't wait. I've been waiting for so long now, and I need this game so much. And here's the thing. I backed this game really because of the theme and the art. It's so good. But to hear you talk about it, I know you care so much about gameplay as well, that now I know I'm going to love this game.
Yeah, you could be mean and try to take cards that somebody wants. Yeah. But there's also other things that break the rule, allows you to put your worker in the corner so you can choose from 4 cards instead of 2, or on the outside so you just have 1, but still or you can, because you're not allowed to place a worker in the same place somebody else placed. But there are stuff that breaks that rule, allows you to put a worker in the same place as somebody else. Stuff like that. It's a very fantastic game, and if I get it in before you play it, then maybe we'll have to meet somewhere and play it.
Yeah, please. Yeah, that'd be great.
It's a fantastic game.
All right.
Sounds really cool.
Tyr Nanog.
I feel like I'm in the outskirts with you two with the game, but I'll have to try it out. My number one, George was talking about having some lighter games on the top 2 and 3 or whatever. This one breaks that, and that is Ezra and Nehemiah. And this is published by Garfield Games. And its designer is S.J. McDonald and Shem Phillips. This is, number one, my third son his name is Ezra, but that has no reason why, no bearing on this game reaching the top. What's really cool about this one is you're playing a card down. You have 3 slots and you play a card down, and that card has these banners. And then however many banner, like you say, I'm going to do the blue action or gray action or red action for, without going super into detail what they do. And you count up all the banners that you have, but there's other locations where you get these banners from as well. And it's really neat because you're eventually going to play 6 cards, and each stack is, each slot's going to have 2 cards. And so it's really agonizing to cover up one of the cards that you had played previously, because maybe it had like a bunch of banners of a color, and you're planning on taking that action later on. These actions correspond to like different things on the main board or whatever, like building the wall around the outside of the city, or moving up on this track to get like special abilities that happen throughout the game, or in-game abilities for scoring purposes. And there's another one where you're building like this, like cathedral or something. Like, I suck at this theme thing. I'm sorry, but it's really neat. And the other thing is you have to burn one of your cards every round into your tucking it, and the tucking it will give you one of those banners permanently, but it also gives you an in-game scoring. But you take away this power that's on the card. That's like a trading power that you can utilize. This game is phenomenal. There's so much going on that you really don't know where to begin when you start. But then, as you're playing the game, you really hone in. There's a lot of different paths to victory. You can focus on a lot of things at one time, because you essentially have to at least do you have to do everything for the most part, but you don't have to do them equally well, if that makes sense. So you can jump back and forth. Dude, it is really cool. Another thing that's really cool about it, and then I'll end, is that your player board has these slots for all these different cards, and these cards are used for different, or not cards, but tiles. And these tiles can be upgraded or whatnot, and they're all different. So when you start the game, you are not like super different than everybody, but you feel like you have a little bit of differentiation to you. And so it's like asymmetrical, but not really, if that makes sense. And then as you're going up on these scroll tracks, and you start getting these powers, you become different than everybody else. It is really well done. The only negative thing I will say is the box size was idiotic. Like, whoever you are that, like, I mean, you know what? You probably have heard this 1,000 times, but it is beyond me why this is not a Ticket to Ride size box. My number 1 is Ezra Nehemiah. I mean, you can comment on it. Sorry.
It's on my shelf of shame. So I've been wanting to play it.
Oh man.
And I agree with you on the box size. Well, that's Garfield. A lot of their games came like that, too small of a box.
Well,
but
at least it's not overly small. No, it is overly small. What am I talking about?
I think I 3D printed an insert for it. Still haven't played it. I do that a lot. So yeah, I've been meaning to play it, and now you make me want to break it out this weekend and play it.
Oh, dude, it is really, really good. I highly think that you're going to like it a lot. I actually think George would like this one too, but I don't think he would really catch on to it because it is a long game.
It seems long and complex. And I will say, I'm glad that as a Garfield game, it's not using the Miko. At least for the art, it's Sam Phillips. The Sam Phillips art it's really good. You look at the cards with the characters on it; they're very well drawn. But then you look at the whole board, and it's just so beige.
No, it's brown. It's a brown desert. Euro. Well, I mean, that is true too. It is in the desert, but it
doesn't draw me in. I'll tell you that.
It does remind me of like I'm saying golden age, like being silly, but the golden age of Euros, like the earlier on Euros, like they're all brown. Like if you look at Castles of Burgundy, and
this harkens back to that. It's not a good thing.
It is not. Like, now games are a lot more brighter and everything, but there was like it's like 50 Shades of Brown is like how Euro games used to be. And this kind of reminds me of that. But the game is really, really good. It is really fun. There is a lot of rules to it, but it's not a complicated game. You're just learning a lot of things, and each thing is very kind of straightforward, if that makes sense. So super good game.
All right. I will try it on your recommendation at some point.
Fair enough. All right. George is going to end us with his number 1. What kind of animal game are we going to come across?
You know me so well. So this game just blew me away, and it's an animal game, all right, but it's also a Euro game, which that's not usually top of my list, but this is Wondrous Creatures.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, Wondrous Creatures is so smooth and elegant. You have these giant meeples that you put onto a hex map, and all around them, at the front and the back of where you place them, you get the resources that are in those spaces. But then you have these nets that you can earn during the game, so you can grab things off to the side of your creature as well. So you have so many options for getting things, and you can also use the nets to use special abilities on these spots on the map as well. So where you place is super important, and you're going around taking turns placing these giant creatures, which can block people off, and there's certain spots that you really, really want. And the reason you're getting these resources is so you can use them to purchase cards into your tableau. And there's over 100 cards, and they're all different creatures with different powers on them, and different ways of scoring, and different instant effects, and different persistent effects, and every one of them has unique art that is spectacular, just gorgeous art. The only thing that bothers me a little bit about all the creature cards is that whoever gave them their names didn't. I'm I'm not a fan, but
is it like not inspired, or is it just like
it's
fish
just
toad?
Exactly, it's like fish toad. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm looking at one that says Frogave.
Frogave, yeah, or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
something
like,
weird.
what? Yeah, they're a bit strange, but that doesn't bother me. I don't really think about what the name is, but I do look at the art, and I look at their abilities and stuff, and yeah, it's just the game. You're trying to win trophies by getting certain collections of creatures, almost like Ark Nova, where you have to
Okay.
get certain kinds of animals together and then satisfy these scoring conditions. So there's a lot of that, of various kinds, and the game just, it ramps up because you get all these different cards that give you different things as you play, and you're collecting these eggs, and you use the eggs, you can hatch the eggs to give you resources of that certain kind, or to give you count as animals of certain kinds, and just the whole package is so smooth, and I just have a blast with this game. Wondrous Creatures is fabulous. I always forget to say, but it is designer Yom CW, and the publisher is Bad Comet, who have done some great stuff lately.
This is one that we had at was it River City Con, and it was next to us, and we never got around to playing it. And the components look amazing. The art is awesome. Like it is a fantastic package.
So many little meeples, and your captain characters, they click onto one of your creatures with magnets, and so just little touches like that. Yeah, the Bad Comet does some great components. The dual layer boards, and yeah, just everything is just sharp.
This is another one I can't get away from online. I see it every time I turn around. So I've been wanting to try it out. Now the box cover art doesn't do it for me.
Really?
But that looks pretty good. It doesn't look like a book or something, like the edges and stuff.
It's made to look like a book. Yeah.
No. But
what about the game board? Do you see the game board art and the little creatures?
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I can ignore the oddball names of the animals, but it looks pretty good.
This one is standout for me.
All right, well that wraps it up. That's our top 10 games that we played, basically. No, I was kidding. I mean, it really is. It has to be games that you played. You can't just throw games on there that you haven't played. But that's our top 10 games that were released in 2024, with slight asterisks if we're wrong about some of that. Like, I always get weirded out, like if people got their Kickstarters like 6 months after or something, like the Kickstarters came out, but people didn't get it in retail until the next year.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes to tell. Yeah.
Either way, Board Game Geek had it listed as 2024, and that's all that matters.
I thought of one other game that
go ahead.
That probably would make my list, maybe at number 1 actually, but I haven't played it yet, and that's because I haven't translated it from Japanese. And the game is called Gibberers, and it's a game where you create a language as you play the game.
What was that other game that you showed us that you create the language? Sacred Right, or not Sacred Rights?
Da da da.
No, it's like the game where they have the symbols and you're trying to create the.
Yeah. Sorry, it's. Oh my gosh, it's escaping me right now. It's Rosetta Stone.
Yes.
That one's great too.
That was
absolutely.
Great. I ended up buying that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love that game. This one is more complicated, and more involved. You really do sort of create a language as you go, and I think it's going to be fantastic. But I just haven't made all the paste ups and translated it from Japanese.
Fair enough. All right, well, we're gonna wrap up this episode. We want to thank you again for tuning into episode 146 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. This episode was recorded on May 9th, 2025. Send us your questions and comments at meeplecore@gmail.com. Follow MeepleCore on your favorite social media sites or platforms, and check out the video versions of the show eventually on youtube.com/MeepleCore. Until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
George Breden.
James Fitzgerald.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.